How many days are you guys thinking for this section?
Well, since we just realized that it's only like 70 miles, that cuts a day off at least. 5 days including today.
Quit playing grab ass! High school football coach always
Yeah, I was
said.
just gonna say, that took me right back to football.
Yeah. Coach said that like every day.
Yeah, every coach had like a tagline.
So here we are in the Rocky Mountain National Park, and I've just joined Alex and Amy for a few days. They're hiking the Continental Divide Trail this year, so I'm going to join them for a 3-day section north of Grand Lake. So Alex has his own channel. If you want to check out his channel, it's 5 Aces Media. Good stuff, and he's doing the CDT this year, vlogging his whole journey, and then doing a movie, so you should check that out.
I'm not sure you joined us for the best part of the trail.
Wait a minute, it gets better than this?
Yeah. No, we're just walking through burned area the whole time.
Well, we just walked through a burned part of the forest. Now it's a road walk for a few miles, so get ready for the highlight of Colorado.
Living the dream out here.
We're finally finishing our road walk, getting off this paved road. Yay. And now we're entering the never summer wilderness. It's a good feeling to get off the paved road, at least onto this dirt road. And this tiny little creek here is the Colorado River. We're not all that far from its source. But pretty cool seeing such a huge, iconic, mighty river of the West, basically at its headwaters.
I can't even do it anymore.
What? See, there really was no rabbit. And walking by all this stuff is like deja vu for me, having hiked the CDT myself in 2018. Not only do I recognize a lot of the same territory that I'm hiking through here, just some of the same feelings and emotions I had when I hiked it myself. And I remember walking through this field right here and just seeing a couple of moose out in the field. Not this time. Got some berries, huh? Get them for the bears, do.
Raspberries.
They're very raspy. We just scared up 2 big elk. Right behind the trees right now.
That is a cool name for the wilderness. We just kind of follow this up to the head and then go over the pass eventually.
Yep, it just kind of clears out, getting up to the basin and then over a pass.
Yeah, maybe before the pass.
And now we're hiking up Bowen Gulch, up to Bowen Pass. We finally made it out of the gulch and almost into an open meadow. Sample the local elk berries.
Yeah. Because I feel like every time you pick a handful, it tastes different.
Minnow likes them too.
She only goes for those, it seems like.
So Amy, this is your first through hike?
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking of the experience so far? Was it something you enjoyed right away, or did you have to kind of like take some time to start, you know, really liking what you're doing?
Well, our second day, our first day we only did 3 miles, but the second day, my foot got injured pretty much right away, and I walked with that for 80 miles
Ow.
before I went to the doctor. So after I got some good stretches in, it started to go away.
It's amazing how just simply walking is actually the cure to the problem you had in the first place, right?
Yeah.
We just emerged from the trees once again. The cloud fog rolling in there. It's starting to get impressive.
So it looks like it's flat.
So this looks like it's it for the tree line.
Yeah.
It's just started to sprinkle, and now we're looking for a place to camp. The Ye Old Gut Hook app tells us there's an amazing campsite in the vicinity.
There's 3 comments about it.
three comments that say it's amazing, so it's got to be at least pretty okay.
This is like just under amazing. A lot better than most spots.
That's a cool.
This is a pretty good view, though. Yeah. Oh. Get it, get it. She's like, that mushroom is mine. Nobody touched that one. I'm coming back to eat that later. It's morning day 2. We had a lot of moose activity in our camp last night. It's a big one walking around in the field over there. And then for whatever reason, the moose just wanted to keep coming up this path right here to where my tent was. So I think one got about 4 or 5 feet from the tent last night before I had to scare it away. And that happened a few times. So it was kind of an eventful night. Time to saddle up. It's like, no, not again. Yeah, she's like pretty excited about it today. Well, now we're headed up to Bowen Pass. Lucky for us, it looks like the cloud has just cleared a little bit. You might even get a view. Well, this is really cool with all this fog. This is a completely different experience than I had on the CDT when I hiked it in 2018. I can only remember one day like this, being in the clouds. And this is a lot closer to typical Colorado than the experience I had. And then right down in the bushes there, there's like 4 moose. You guys just stay down there. I'll stay up here. And they're on the move now. Yes, when I was on the CDT, somebody called them swamp donkeys. And it just stuck with me.
That's a good name.
They like the swamp and they're just big and gumpy, so.
Yeah.
And this here is Bowen Pass. So it's a bummer not to get a view from a pass or a summit. But I gotta admit, it's cool walking through these clouds. It's just got a different vibe to it. Hey, Minnow made it. Welcome to the top, guys. Through the clouds emerges a lone hiker.
We haven't hiked up into the clouds yet so far.
And it's time to limbo. I think I'm going to try the downhill route. It's a bit slippery though, and steep. Well, we've avoided the rain so far, but I think now it's time for it to come down. It's definitely starting to pick up. Well, it's been raining all day. We just stopped for a break. It's pretty cold when we stop. Got a pretty good shiver going on. I'm try and keep moving, but we got a 4,000 foot climb before we get to the top of Parkview Mountain. And we're just coming down this creek here, and you can see all this grass is just bent over. It's pretty clear it just experienced some sort of flash flooding at some point not all that long ago. And all these forest fire burn areas, the soil is really unstable, and now it's prone to mudslides, flash flooding.
Now it's starting to rain again? God.
We've been walking a couple hours through this forest fire now. It's pretty extensive. Pretty massive scale.
Looks like it goes all the way up that mountain.
Ah, the CDT. Isn't this just magical?
So magical.
Full magical?
So magical.
So magical. I like full magical though. That sounds pretty good. Full magical.
Full. Magical's on full.
This small creek is the last water for 11 miles, so time to fill up.
You do that and you're probably
And off there through the trees is Parkview Mountain, and that's where we're headed next. Probably about 7 miles away at this point. So we just came up the Illinois Pass Trail. Probably a fitting name because this landscape is about as interesting as the real Illinois. Pretty much just a wall of down trees. So this is gonna be fun. Whoa, look at that acrobatic dog. It's a gauntlet of downed trees.
It's a nice tree.
Look at this.
Nice little circle tree.
It's a circle tree. It's full magical.
Full magical. Full magical. That's
It's
right.
pretty neat how it grew like that.
Yeah. It must have, because this is a sign of, like, they call it tree cancer. Like, you see those bumps on
Yeah.
trees? It's basically something's wrong with its cells. And it looked like it just fixed itself. And
When I hiked the CDT in 2018, I do remember coming down this ridge. Everything else, though, before this, between here and Bowen Pass, I just didn't remember at all. No, yeah, it was very easy to forget. I do remember this coming down this cool little ridge line. I mean, it was nicer when it wasn't burned. Man, I'll tell you what, it's a weird feeling walking some of the same places I walked in 2018. Seeing it again from a different angle a couple years later, it does definitely bring back some of the same, feelings and emotions I had back when I walked it in 2018. So we've just begun the ascent up to Parkview Mountain. It's a 3,000-foot climb from the Willow Creek Pass. Anyhow, we're going up about 1,000 feet. And this is our campsite for the night. We're gonna camp here and save the other 2,000 feet for the morning. We got absolutely hammered by the rain last night. So now everything's soaking wet. Wet tent, wet sleeping bag, wet clothes, pretty much wet everything. Good news is, I think the bad weather's behind us. Today should be a pretty nice day. And should be able to dry out this stuff in a couple hours. And after walking the Continental Divide Trail myself in 2018, it's weird to be back here as a section hiker. It feels like a completely different hike. You see things you didn't see before, you see them in a different way, and it's just a completely different experience, but you can't shake the deja vu. And we're not too far from the summit of Parkview Mountain right here. Hey Echo, how you doing? And this here's the final push up the summit of Parkview Mountain. Here's the summit of Parkview Mountain, 12,296 feet. And for northbounders on the Continental Divide Trail, this is the last 12,000 foot peak you'll reach before reaching Canada. Chirp, chirp. Ooh. What do you think? Room for 3 people and a dog? And
Yeah,
3 people and 2 dogs?
Pretty tight. It'd be doable, but it would be pretty tight.
This is the best part of hiking right here, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just got all your hard work out of the way. Nice view, easy walking. Really just sit back and enjoy life for a minute.
Having a decent trail up on our ridge, so it's cool kind of hiking too. So nice and easy to get them over us really fast.
Yeah. The hard stuff lasts forever. The good stuff is so short-lived, it seems.
Yep.
Kind of cruel in that way, but
That's kind of what makes it good. Rare.
yeah, it's so rare to get that, so you really appreciate it. Well, we made a mistake. We're supposed to be on that ridge and not that one. So now we're contouring around this hill to avoid going all the way back up the mountain again to rejoin the actual trail. What we really need to do is shoot for that low point over there. So we've just basically taken the mountaineers route around Parkview Mountain, skirted our way around this talus field, and now we've just joined the official CDT again, back on trail. Well, I really enjoyed Parkview Mountain on my 2018 CDT hike, and I'm really enjoying it this time as well. Pretty cool ridgeline. Really like following this kind of thing. It's wide open, pretty easy to train to walk. Good views, not the best, not spectacular views, but good views, good solid views. Just something about this is really, really nice. Boy, the sun is awesome.
Remember how cold we were back then?
And how wet we were? And how wet my stuff still is?
Yeah.
And how I should probably lay it out and dry it? But shoot, I really should. My bag is gonna, sleeping bag's pretty damp. I think everything is pretty damp. Yeah, these are the moments I miss about hiking the CDT. These lunch breaks on the ridge line and stuff. Just had a nice break, dried all our gear out. Got to soak in some sun, which I haven't really been able to do for the last 2 days. This weather looks like it's cleared up. Now it's finally time to just enjoy some great miles on this ridge.
Used to like most of Colorado, once you get up on a ridge, you can look out flatlands and see something.
So it's kind of interesting to walk parts of the CDT again. I just remember walking through this area in 2018, just thinking, you know, Wyoming's getting close. It's starting to transition into a different landscape, different state, and how exciting that was. And we're working our way around Haystack Mountain right now, and we've just encountered our first burn area coming down off Parkview Mountain. Yeah, it's definitely got a smell.
That's what they banned those. I think they were advertising the miners.
And right along trail here is this cool bench that somebody carved. Mexico, Canada. Always go Nobo. So Alex, I know you're filming your CDT hike and you're doing a vlog and also a movie. Maybe you could tell me a little bit more about what you're doing with the project.
So the movie is called Mind, Body, and Soul, The Nature of Well-Being. We're taking a look at how spending time in nature is good for mental, physical, and spiritual health. This is my third through hike. Started with the PNT and then did the Hayduke Trail. Also did part of the North Country Trail. Made movies about all three of those. And now we're out here doing the fourth project. This one's going to be a little bit different because I'm hiking with my girlfriend Amy and our two dogs. This movie is kind of more, it's about a lot more than just a through hike. So we're out here hiking the CDT with the goal of hiking from Mexico to Canada, but we also have higher priorities than that. So some of the other priorities are mostly around Amy. She's been through a lot in her life, kind of endured a lot of traumatic events, and those have left a lot of emotional scars, and we both believe that spending time out in nature is a good way to kind of address those things and help overcome a lot of traumatic things that have happened in your life. I think the longer that we spend out here, the more I'm realizing that this is also a hike for me, because I have a lot of personal growth to do. I'm used to hiking by myself, and I'm used to kind of doing things on my own, going at my own pace. And I think it's been really good for me to be hiking with a group and kind of having to change up my pace and realize that it's not always about what I want. And another one of my goals out here is to kind of explore that spiritual realm too. Spent a lot of time working on mental and a little bit physical health. And I've been always very fascinated with spiritual things. I've never really subscribed to any religious things, but I've always felt like there's kind of something beyond this physical reality that we normally experience. So that's something that I'm kind of looking into while we're out here too. It's been challenging. Yeah, we've had a lot of challenges to overcome. But I feel like the longer we're out here, the better we're doing with that stuff. Follow along with the project on mindbodysoulfilm.com. And the movie is probably not going to be complete until like late 2022, something like that.
Looking forward to seeing what you put out there with that, what you learn and share with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, an unnecessarily big cairn to mark the way. It's early evening now, and we're making our way up to Poison Ridge, which was an area I remember enjoying quite a bit on my 2018 hike. Looks like it's going to be a fine walk this evening as well. Hey! Hey, good girl. Looks like we may have found camp for the night. This spot here, pretty nice view. Today's morning, day 4, since I've started hiking with Alex and Amy, and I've got 8 miles to go before I reach a road junction where my buddy's gonna pick me up and I'll end my hike. So 4 days on the CDT. It's been a lot of fun, kind of reliving the experience in a more manageable time frame. 4 days versus 6 months.
Yeah, if we do make it through the whole hike together, I think we will. We'll be that much stronger because of it.
Getting through it, and then once you're through it, the hard part's over and you can reflect on it and have that shared experience together that you both made it through together. Well, I just split up with Alex and Amy. I've got 6 miles to cover in the next 2.5 hours in order to get to the road where my buddy's going to pick me up, and I'm going to end my hike. It's been great though, hiking with Alex and Amy, and sharing a little bit of their CDT experience, kind of reliving it a little bit on my own as well. And lots of large mushrooms in the area. I'm north of Sheep Mountain and north of Arapahoe Ridge, approaching Hyannis Peak. Man, this is a cool area. Pretty nice views, but it's time to drop down into the valley here, Arapahoe Creek, and then right on the other side of that ridge line is my pickup point. And my buddy's supposed to meet me in about an hour. I've got 4 miles left, so I think I'm gonna start running this one. And there's a big moose on the path there. Yo, moose, coming your way. Please step aside. Would you please? You got anybody else with you? Siblings? Go on. Thank you. Man, pretty cool to see. And now I've got like a 1,000-foot climb up out of this valley to the ridge above, to the road where my friend hopefully is waiting for me. Hoping the road is good enough to drive all that way, otherwise I'll be walking a little further. I'm already running a little behind. Don't want to keep my friend waiting too much for me. And now, of course, the path is just littered with blowdowns. I've just climbed out of the valley, made my way up to this ridge. And now it's the moment of truth. See if my buddy's waiting for me on the other side. Well, this is the spot I had marked on the map for my buddy to meet. And I don't see him. I'm assuming the road's just really rough further down. He wasn't able to make it up. So now I got myself a road walk. So hopefully he was able to make it up most of the way this road. I think it's like a 24-mile drive on this road. So I just got signal and was able to give my buddy a call and see how far up the road he made it. And he's 6.5 miles downhill from here. So that's another 6.5 miles I'm gonna have to walk to him. So quick snack and then I'll be on my way.